Illinois Treasurer's Office Award for Outstanding Commitment as an Elected Official goes to Senate Majority Leader Kimberly A. Lightford, 4th District of Chicago. Serving since 1998, Senate Majority Leader Kimberly Lightford has had a long and successful career in the Illinois Senate, and I was proud to have served alongside her for several of those years. Leader Lightford, I want to express my thanks for your support and my role as treasurer and appreciation for your helping pass our education legislation. Leader Lightford has earned a BA in Communications from Western Illinois University and a Master's in Public Administration from the University of Illinois Springfield. She's a former village trustee from Maywood, but she's a longtime champion in the Senate for education, for working families, and for women's issues. In many cases, her work has gotten her national attention. She lives in Maywood with her family, and Senator Lightford is also a friend of mine. Leader Lightford, thank you very much for joining us here today, and congratulations.
Well, Treasurer Frericks, thank you so much for honoring me, and it's a pleasure to be in your midst today. Good to see you.
Well, good to see you. We have talked over the years about what's inspired you for office, and a lot of people who watch this who might think they want to get into office. You've got a great story. Can you talk about your inspiration, what caused you to first run for office, be an elected official?
Oh, sure, I'd be happy to. My journey is just so different, I would say. It was the women in my life, my mom's grandmother and my mom's mother, so that would be my great grandmother and grandmother. They were just women who didn't have a lot, but they raised my mother to be given and to be so kind, and I was raised in the same way, and I had no idea what my great-grandmother, my grandmother, and my mother was doing was, in a way, public service until I went to Western Illinois University and I saw these dynamic women on campus and in the community, and I began to volunteer for them, and I ended up joining the sorority Delta Sigma Theta, and that's when I understood what my grandmother and great-grandmother was doing with the very little that they had, that they were actually providing public service for their community. And then the opportunity came to run for office, and I thought, oh, I'm prepared. You know, I've been a public servant all my life. I just didn't know what it was called. And I come from a lineage of women who were also public servants, but never had an official title. So I'm really happy about my journey and the way I came to public office.
Yeah, it sounds like that public leadership, that public service runs in your family. But when a lot of people decide they want to run for office, they quickly realize that it's a big time commitment. Serving a district as large as you do is time consuming. So how do you balance family and work life? You know, you're frequently on the road between Chicago or Maywood and Springfield. How do you do it?
It's funny that you asked because I'm still trying to take that whole idea of balancing family and work life and make it into this a reality that women can relate to, because when you're a single mom or you're just newly married and you're traveling from your spouse and your children weekly, it can become really difficult to do. And so I just don't know that I had a magic bullet to how to do it. It's just over a period of time, I just knew what my priorities were. And although I had a job to do that was very significant and required a lot of my time, I also knew that I wanted to keep my husband happy. I wanted to raise my son and keep him happy. Originally, I had a son and now my daughter. And so I just wanted to make sure that they were happy. And earlier on, I had my child with me in Springfield up until the age of 3 in order to start preschool. And so my parents then were very helpful. My mother helped me when I was in Springfield. She raised my child for me. And I knew that then my child was in a loving and learning environment. And then when preschool kicked in, it helped in some ways because it created more of a schedule. And so for me, balancing was just coming up with a good schedule, always incorporating my immediate family into my work schedule. And then I did lose touch with more of my friends or extended family because of all the community events and all of the other responsibilities. But through the years, I've learned how to balance enough time so that I could still be the godparent to my godkids, or I could still be the great aunt that I want to be, and the best sister that I could be. And so after 20 years, Mike, I'm just learning how to also do that part. So balancing work and family has been a challenge, but I believe I figured it out.
Yeah, we're always learning, and we're always relying on family. It's nice to hear your mother serves as inspiration, and she also serves as a partner, helping you to be able to serve your
Absolutely.
constituents. Now,
Absolutely. My mother's a sweetheart.
we talked about challenges and struggles between work and family balance. Over the last 2 years, we've had a brand new challenge.
Mm.
This pandemic has upended the way the Senate has worked. What has that been like? How have you worked through those struggles that you faced during the pandemic?
Well, Mike, the pandemic is pretty horrific. It's a killer across the country, and well, actually across the world. It's really stabilized us in many places. I was sick with COVID for about 4 months, and was still trying to maintain doing the work. My daughter's father died of COVID in October of this year, of 21, excuse me. And my mom, she's right now in the hospital in ICU fighting for her life. And so it's been very difficult on my personal home life. And then as it relates to my job and my community, I just felt the weight on my shoulders to provide the support and resources to the residents and to all of the municipal governments. So I did a lot of pushing PPE. I did a lot of communicating with the governor and his team on how to set up sites, testing sites in the district and low-income communities. This was before we even knew about a vaccination. So it started earlier on with the first death in Illinois. I just took it personally. It was a nurse from the south side of Chicago. And as that number grew daily, it just really, really saddened me. The most I could say about COVID is that COVID sucks. It really sucks.
I think everyone watching this will agree with that. It has been a difficult 2 years. Between managing the pandemic, a very demanding job as a Senate Majority
Mhm.
Leader, and making time for your family, a lot of people want to know a little more how you round out your life. When you do have free time, how do you like to unwind? Do you have hobbies?
I do, Michael. I lost touch with all of those things for a period of time, but it's just embedded in me. I love interior design and decorating, so that's what I do on the side. My husband says he can't watch any more HGTV, and so I try to watch it when he's not around, but I really love interior decorating design, and I've taken on a couple of assignments, if you will, in that space. And I love to write. I've always loved to write. I love poetry. So I'll still read a lot. I'll still listen to a lot of motivational speakers, and spending time with my family, because it's so rare that you have that time off. Whenever I do, I'll take on all of the nieces and nephews, and now the great nieces and nephews, and just provide family outings with them and some type of gathering. So for me, it's just family, interior decorating, poetry, and actually music. I really love music, and I love all types of music. So I could just sit in a room and listen to music, and be satisfied and enjoy that actually.
Okay, well, it sounds like a full, well-rounded life. Leader Lightford,
Thank you.
before we wrap up, we hopefully have some young
Mhm.
people watching here today, hopefully found some inspiration. What words of wisdom would you share with individuals looking to
Mhm.
follow in your footsteps? People who want to be agents of change in their community.
You know, these rising young people, Michael, they're so motivating for me and to me. And I'm thinking, where were they when I started this when I was so young? But I've got to tell them, I think the most important thing is to never lack integrity. Never lack integrity. Mean what you say and say what you mean. And remain disciplined and focused on whatever the goal is, setting that agenda, staying disciplined to see it through, and remaining focused. I would suggest as helpful for change agents.
Okay. I think that's great advice for people looking at elected office or any number of other ways they can make change. As you said, your family didn't hold office, but that didn't stop them from serving their communities.
Exactly. And there's so many ways to just be a change agent when you recognize anything that you think could use a way of improvement. Then being a change agent doesn't have to be always this large, big thing. It could be something small, but means so much to so many, the significance of it. So that's why I mean by just staying disciplined, because sometimes you can be distracted. Other things could pop up in your life. Other things could happen in the community that could throw you off. But when you remain disciplined and you never lack integrity, then you can stay focused until you reach the goal. And as long as you're helping just one other person, that's what really being a change agent is all about. It's just being helpful, giving, and making a difference.
Right. Great words of wisdom. Great way to wrap this up. The Illinois Treasurer's Office awardee for outstanding commitment as elected official is Senate Majority Leader Kimberly A. Lightford. Kimberly, thank you very much for joining me today. Congratulations.
Thank you, Treasurer Frere. It's my pleasure, and thank you for the honor.